Welcome back! Crusader Kings 3 House Wessex episode 50. Thinking this is probably going to be our last episode. We're in a bad situation. We have no heir. We're 7 years old. I think somebody killed our dad. I could see this thing absolutely crumbling here at the end, unfortunately. We're going to try to imprison this guy just to... There we go. To try and prevent uprisings. We'll let that one be. What is this? Oh. This is Aquitaine. See, I think that's the problem now, is everybody's going to come at us, I think. I'm just going to give it back to him. We need to save our guys for potentially another fight. As much as I hate to do that, I think we're going to have a civil war at some point here. If they kill my dad, they're not just going to sit on their laurel. They're going to come after me. Let's give this a go. Okay, so we've had some luck with the imprisoning. Problem is I can't do any sort of lifestyle choices which will help the economy. It's just a bad way to end it. There's nothing else I can do though. See, I can't even try to kill him. That's the problem with being a child like that. And that's the thing, is like, I'm a long way away from being able to do anything. We've gotten lucky, I think, with some of the being able to imprison some folks. I think we've got about 15 years left. We're not going to be able to do anything. Because I'm never gonna. I don't think I'm going to get to a point where I'm back positive, economic-wise. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what we have to deal with here. Okay, at least there's no civil war. Honestly, I'm just trying to get to the point where we can maybe end the game with what we have. Because I mean, there's really nothing else that I can do. Could marry. I'm guessing it's my sister. Yeah. Marry her to the Serene Doge of Venice. Heck yeah. That'll be a good ally. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's what we're gonna have to do. So I've been excommunicated. Awesome. They've excommunicated a child. How kind of you. Just because I wouldn't join your crusade? Mm-hmm. I realize that I'm heterosexual. Okay. Well, that's good. How old am I? 11. I mean, it's good because I would need to be to have heirs. You look good. Sure. $12. Okay, so we're about, what, 4 years away? Mm. Let's try it. I've gotten so lucky with the being able to imprison all these people. That's actually what's going to probably save us from total annihilation. Because we don't have the money to do anything. Because I'm a child, and I can't... he does not. They're back. Oh, that's a different one. So this is one. Yeah. Okay. I'm so close. I think it's gonna fall apart within the last decade of this whole thing. We're gonna raise everybody. That's 78,000 men. Okay. So I'm a new player, my sister. So at least the game didn't end. That's the reason I chose to surrender instead of keep fighting, because I had a way to go on, but this is definitely a very, very disappointing end to this series. We actually didn't lose anything. Oh, we lost a few things in here, I think. But I can't go to war because I have no money. So it's definitely going to be, as I said, I think a very, very disappointing finish. You can see we've lost some little regions here and there. Slowly get picked apart. Okay. So we're less than, I think, if my end year on this is correct. We've got we're down to 9 years. Don't have any money to compensate him. Keep doing the culture to the end. Yeah, we never embraced the English culture. I spent too much time trying to convert everybody. At least we're going to be able to rebuild some of our army. Uh-oh. That Waldensianism thing, I mean, those just killed me. So much wasted time spent on those uprisings and stuff. No, I can't because I have no money. Oh, I'm pregnant. Nice. So I'm back finally in positive. So what regions do I not own? Looks like we gained a lot of them back. Daughter, okay. Cecilia sounds like a good name. Oh, I'm pregnant again. That didn't take very long. son, Thomas. Okay, so we're down, I think, to just a few years left. Question is, what do we want to go after? Or do we want to even go after anything? You might just let it run out. In the event that there's an uprising, we'll buy a mercenary unit to send for that crusade. Oh, can I still... I can't create that duchy anymore, I don't think. Okay. So where are we going? Oh, we're going right there. Okay. Didn't take very long, did it? Yeah, and then this Lollard thing up here really took hold too. We're down to the last month or so. Yep. Okay. There it is. There it is. Okay. Is there a way to see some stats here before we end it? I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to oh, man. Well, here, let's take a look here. You can see, we'll go back through the years here. You can see 867 to 1453. We played as 23 characters. We have 19 houses. We reached the fabled level of fame. So you can see we did Empress Joan. We were her for 10 years. I don't remember playing as him. Or is that who we were that we got deposed? I think that's who we were. We were there for 12. That was tough. I kind of knew that we weren't going to do much after Emperor Thomas. Looked a lot like his dad. Just because when we died, we were like 2 years old when we took over, and there wasn't going to be much that happened that last 25 years or whatever, 22 years or whatever. Joffrey, we were him for 23 years. You can see at the end here, I think we did have some of us got assassinated, unfortunately. We did start to get a little bit wider in the waist. Cyrus, we were only him for 8 months. Joffrey the First, we were them for 41 years. 28 as Cyrus, 53 as Gargamel. That was the third. Forgot about those ones. That was rough. Just the name. So 53 years, 13 months. That was probably our shortest reign. Oh, we had 8 months. 53. So 53 years and 8 months. Do we have anything that was 5 months? Wow. Okay, that was obviously a plague. 3 months. That was definitely an assassination. I remember that one. So we were 54 years as Aubrey. So we were the longest. We played the longest as King Alfred, the first one. Seems like a long time ago. Seems like a long time ago. I wish I could. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to say this because I'd like to come back in and see if it'll let us see the map. I should have stopped it like the day before. And I do that so that I can actually see. So that I can actually see what episode I'm on. And also, if I'm playing something gets corrupted, I can go back if I need to. But I'd like to see the map if we can. Oh, it doesn't let me do it. Okay. I should have stopped it. I'll know for next time. So we'll do this. We'll load the last one, the last save, and it'll be pretty much the same map as we had. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I should have stopped it a day before so we could see. That was my fault. Okay, so this is we did get this back. So. But essentially, and I think we lost. Did we lose this? it's not perfect. Again, I kind of screwed up. I should have stopped it a day before so we could see where we were at the time. But this is essentially what we're looking at here. So it looks like we did end up at this point in time, we ended up having probably the second largest. This empire down here looks like they started to break apart a little bit. They were much bigger a little bit ago. Hispania that definitely broke apart. That was a lot bigger. This is a little bit. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you have these empires. They rise, they fall. You know, I would say the one thing that I will say about us is these guys though were pretty big for a long. These guys were pretty consistent as well. Now the name changed a bunch, but I would say we were consistently strong, and we consistently just kept getting land. So you can see kind of, Empire Wessex there. Kind of where we ended. So I mentioned this at the first episode of the series, if you remember or caught that, which was I admitted, which is something I don't typically do on something like this, like my Total War game series, if you've seen those. I try to play those and talk about them kind of in a context of you don't really know where I've played, like what the order is in terms of the factions that I played and how often I've done that, things like that. This one I was much more obvious, or much more honest. This was the first playthrough of Crusader Kings 3 that I've ever done. I never played Crusader Kings 2 either, so this was literally my first playthrough as Crusader Kings, or in the Crusader Kings series. And so I think there were definitely some things I learned along the way. I did go in and play a little bit as like to learn some of the mechanics with not Wessex, but just I picked some random ones just so I could get a sense of like, just the whole like, okay, how do I assign people to the court, and like what is what are some of these functions? But I only played maybe 5-10 years of each, maybe not even that long. So I didn't really get a sense of kind of how that stuff worked. And I think definitely there were some things that I would do differently, or try to do differently next time to see if it were to change things. I started doing this a little bit at the end, which was I was making more tyrannical decisions. I don't know if you want to go to the extreme where you're just like this absolute just butcher and prisoner, but I think what I kind of realized was that with me not taking that route, it still led to a lot of uprisings and things like that. So that's something I would maybe do differently in upcoming series. Is I might be a little more tyrannical from the start. Something else that I think we'll try to maybe do a little bit differently next time is, and I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, I think, which was even though you can see we've got quite a bit of land here, that was for the most part the contiguous stuff. We got these little random pockets here. I think we got a couple over here somewhere. Here. We got these sort of random pockets of our land. We had one down here for a very long time. But with the main empire, you see, we really only got that through military conquest. And when you look at some of these other factions, and we were aggressive from the start. I feel like we were rolling about as well as you could roll, and we were still smaller than some of these other empires at their peak. Like this one was huge. Hispania, or whatever it was called at one point in time, was massive. You had a couple other ones that were quite large, and It's like there's how did they get that big? And I think it might go back to um, the marriages that I was arranging with a lot of my female family members. I was for the vast majority of the game. It wasn't until probably the last 100 years, or maybe not even that long, maybe the last 75 years, maybe 50. It's maybe, who knows. The point is, for the vast majority of the game, I was forcing matrilineal marriages, which meant that any offspring that did a couple things. It meant that any offspring were of my house. Now, the reason I chose to do that was because I was afraid of what that would lead to. I was afraid that would lead to greater likelihood of lost regions, greater likelihood of more claimants on my throne, potentially. Like if imagine I had 2 daughters and a son. Well, when my son ascended to the throne, and my 2 sisters and my 2 daughters had kids, their kids might be like, hey, wait a minute, I got a small claim on this thing or something. So I was worried about that. So that's why I chose not to do it. Now, what that meant was I closed off any opportunity to do that same thing to other people, where I could have maybe some claims on some things that I otherwise didn't. I had to fabricate it. It wasn't quite as easy for me to do that either. It also meant that I was more limited in terms of some of the allies I could have, because or powerful allies, I could say. Because you can imagine, like faction leaders or heirs, things like that, they're not going to be willing to marry as a matrilineal marriage. So for a big chunk of this game, I was sort of on my own. And that made sometimes it very difficult to hold on to land whenever there was someone attacking me, or there was uprisings, things like that. Also made it harder for me to attack some things that I maybe would have considered otherwise if I had the allies. So that's something I think we'll do a little bit differently next time. Maybe is if the opportunity, again, I don't want to just go completely to the other extremes on any of this stuff, because I do think there were some things that worked, but I want to see, if there's an opportunity to marry to a really powerful ally, we're not going to force matrilineal. We'll allow that to happen. But if it's one of those cases where it's, I've got 5 daughters, or something like that, and the most powerful ally I can marry to is some count that's half across the map, then we'll do matrilineal just to keep it in house. But that's something we'll probably do. I don't know how to fix the whole religion thing. I'll need to play around maybe more with. So I think I put so much emphasis on building, and I did this with essentially every character I had, which was that the lifestyle points I chose, it was pretty much all economy based. Now I think that made my economy very powerful, but I do think it also, there were some characters I played where I inherited some traits that allowed me to get some hooks and some things like that. And that would have been very helpful, I think, with forcing religion changes, better imprisonment. So I think that could have saved me some pain from that regard. So we might do some of that next time too. Again, I think, and that's one of the reasons I like games like this is you can do so many different playthroughs and different strategies, and it doesn't feel like a carbon copy. So we'll mess around with that a little bit, not being so economic based, getting some of those other things involved that we can maybe leverage a little bit better. But I think, yeah, I think the first and foremost thing we need to do, though, is figure out a way to prevent the frequency of revolts and rebellions. And, you know, I don't know if that's possible. That might just be a built-in feature to the game. But it just it was frustrating at times because it was like every time we'd have a character change, it was like, well, here we're gonna have to fight a couple civil wars, or we're gonna have to fight somebody. And the culture thing wasn't a big deal. We converted the culture and it kind of stayed, but the religion thing that really caused some problems. We got to figure out a way to do that. But overall, though, I think it was good. I'm very curious to see my next playthrough, how that goes, and just simply me being a little bit, just some things that I know are just maybe a better way to do it. So yeah, I don't know who I'm going to do yet. Haven't decided. I can tell you, it will not be a faction in Britain. Because again, I don't want it to feel like the same playthrough. I kind of forget, I mean, who all you could be. I'm intrigued by the idea of something in France. Would be interesting. It was kind of in the same geographic area. I think because it took so long for us to get... I mean, look how long it took us to get here. And we still didn't get all of modern France. So, in fact, we could play somebody down here, and we would never still encounter some of the same regions we did up here. That would be interesting. Something down here would be really interesting. I think with Spain, modern day Spain. I don't think we'll do anything in Scandinavia, because I feel like with some of the inheritance laws and some things like that, I feel like we got that sort of flavor. That's the other thing too. I want to see some things maybe that give us a little different play as far as inheritance and things like that. And also too, I think it'll be interesting to see. We got very lucky with our brother dying early on, and we became a petty king like within a couple years. And that definitely changed things. So playing maybe as a count right off the bat somewhere, I think is going to be harder to build that up. So I mean, we could try something all the way down here. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll have to think about it. But overall, I think it was not too bad. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll definitely do another series here. Not sure when that'll get out. Got a lot of other stuff we want to get to, and anyways, but I appreciate you sticking with us. If you did for 50 episodes, that was a lot of time, because we really pushed the hour mark on a lot of those 50 episodes. So yeah, I have to go look, but this is I'm sure probably a 40-hour series. So I appreciate you watching it all if you did. But that is going to bring an end to our series, House of Wessex, Crusader Kings 3. If you like this, again, we got more coming. Not sure when, but we have more coming for Crusader Kings 3. All sorts of other stuff out there on the channel, so feel free to check that out. But again, appreciate you stopping by if you did. And that's going to be it. So come on back, and we'll see you somewhere else.